Good morning and welcome to Win the Day. I am Tanika D'Souza, the 100K Challenge Chick. I'm here to challenge you guys, one, to make 100K in your business revenue. So I am a business coach for entrepreneurs. But two, I really want to challenge you just to make sure you're living your best life, right? A lot of us, we know we have goals for business. We know what we want to accomplish. And when you reach that point, I want you to set that financial goal. So you're not sitting, waiting, thinking. I want you to be executing, right? So I have a membership group, the 100K Society. That's what we do. We execute over there. A lot of these talks, when I'm doing Win the Day, I really want you guys to be preparing yourself, your life, for this business, for you to live out your purpose. What I've found is that a lot of people would find me as a business coach, but they would have so many things going on in their life that they didn't have the capacity to jump right in to their business. They didn't have the energy, they didn't have the mental capacity, none of those things to really talking about today. One of those topics that is going to help you if you're in the earlier stages of your business, because it's a concept that I hear all the time. And today I had such an awesome experience and I'm going to share. So those two things are related, but we're talking about your business, your baby. Okay. So I'm going to let that sit with you for a minute. A lot of people love to say, oh, my business, that's my baby and this and the third. And they want, so as a business coach, I'm not going to empathize with you on calling your business a baby, because the one thing I know for sure about my clients is they hate when somebody calls their business, oh, your little business or that little thing you're doing. How's your little business going? Yet they, out of their own mouths, say that their business is their baby as a way to say, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm willing to go all in. I'm willing to, figure this out by any means necessary, right? Because a lot of times when we have a baby, that's what we're doing. We don't, this child can't talk, like, the basic things that it needs: food, sleep, diaper changes, hugs and kisses, that kind of thing. So we're just like throwing anything we can at this baby to keep it happy, keep it healthy, all those things. But the we cannot communicate with you. It's not grown up. It needs so much of your time and attention. So when you say that about your business, subconsciously, what you're also doing is saying it's okay that you're just going to throw any resource possible at the business. It's okay that you don't understand the business. It's okay for you to just try to do anything to make this work. And what I'm going to tell you is, at the very beginning, you may not know as much, and your business will absolutely feel like a baby, and you're just like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? However, just like babies, you need to be ready for that business to grow up. You have to embrace the fact that your business needs to grow. You cannot at all keep your business in such a state where it's so dependent on you and you're just throwing any type of resource at it to make it work. That's not how business goes. So today, the experience that I had, which I can smile about it now because I go from smiling to like wanting to cry, is I put my kids on the school bus this morning. Today was the first day of school. And for those of you who are watching live, they are starting later than most other schools. So they get on the school bus. It's, it's their first day. So I'm going to take photos. My two youngest kids are in private school, and their school does have a bus that comes to my neighborhood to get them, and then they have their commute to school. So I want to take a photo in front of the school bus, all of that. Today was significant because for my son, this is his first day of grade school. He's a senior in high school. So that's a big moment, right? Your last year, you're starting. And then for my daughter, this is her first year in high school. This is the only year they'll have together in high school. So, I'm one of those moms like, oh, separate pictures, together pictures. And I got to put all the captions and all of that. And I'm watching my babies get on this bus and go to high school, right? I already have an adult child, right? She lives 12 hours from home. She's working her first job. She's actually currently on a retreat slash birthday vacation for herself. But the point is, it's not like I'm brand new to this, but it still feels like so crazy to put my little people, my babies, on this school bus. But the funny part was, they get on the school bus. I'm definitely not the only mom there. There was some grandmoms showing up. There was, the couples there with the kids. All it was just a whole thing at the school bus. So the kids get on the school bus. We wave goodbye. Bye, kids. Bye. Have a great day. And then what's the conversation? The moms are dancing. Like, we're literally having a whole dance party in the parking lot because we're like, oh my gosh, yes. And so my comment first was, the light, my light at the end of the tunnel just started ninth grade. And we continue rotating. Like, what's your youngest child that just got on that school bus? And how quickly our homes are going to be empty nests, meaning they're at least off to college. So we're talking about that, what that means for us, how our lives will change, what this means for this, upcoming year of high school, all the expectations. But the reality is, as much as we're going to be sentimental about these children growing up, we expect them to grow up. We expect them to get through high school. We expect them to do well. We expect them to, for a lot of us, go to college or, have that next step plan. But why do we allow our businesses and our personal lives to stay stagnant, right? Especially your business. When you do that, oh, my business, this is my baby and I'm doing X, Y. Okay, when is your baby going to become a toddler, a child? Like, when are you going to grow this business up? And that's the thing that I want you guys to start thinking about. It's not okay. We use that analogy and it's fine when you're just starting, you're new to an industry, all of that. And when you present things about your business, oftentimes those who have been in business or in your industry, they know you're new because you're using very beginner language, I'm going to say. So, what is the process that you need to be considering in order to grow your business up? Right? I want you guys to have the same experience I had this morning when I put those kids on that school bus and I said to myself, the light is coming. Like, I have some freedom after I get these kids through high school. And not to say I don't have freedom now, because they are starting school and I will be on a week-long vacation next week. Okay, so don't get it twisted that I'm waiting for my child to get out of high school before I live my best life. However, there's a lot of responsibility and expectation that I have, and what my role is right now because my kids are still young and in these different phases. So I'm going to share with you guys today my 4 stages, and I use this for everything at this point. Sorry, I'm moving stuff around in my little online studio. I love this little thing. It's Restream, by the way. But there are what I'm going to consider the 4 stages that, as I'm coaching people, I tell them, you're in this stage with your business. Let's do what we need to do to solidify you in that stage and move to the next. So I'm going to share what they are, 4 things. And I want you to be listening to, where is your business currently? And how do you plan to resolve some of the challenges that come in that phase of business? And how are you planning to move forward? The thing that I'll tell you is, you guys can check my link in bio. I do a coaching week every month, and that coaching week is coming up next week. So you're welcome to join me. It is in a private Facebook group. It's a free coaching week, but it's me really business models that are going to help you build the $600,000 business revenue that I want all of you to have. People ask me all the time, why do you do that for free? They don't expect it to be a lot. Well, the reality is it's easier for me to coach this once a month for free in a private group and have all of my paid clients or people who are kind of vetting me, deciding if they're joining my coaching programs, to be in one space and to teach them, and they can use it, the lessons in time appropriate. What am I saying? The time, everybody's in different time zones. I literally coach people all around the world, and it's just easier for me to do it that way. So I don't charge currently for that, but it's also what I consider a prerequisite for working with me. So I don't feel like I'm giving away everything, because I'm not working with you one-on-one on your business. I'm making sure you understand all the options you have in business, because working with me means understanding how you're going to customize your business to fit your lifestyle. I'm big on that, because that's what I'm doing for myself. I want a work from anywhere lifestyle. And a lot of you have desires of how you want your business to look, but you just don't understand the options on how to get it there. So that's what I do for coaching. I'm introducing you to business models like coaching and consulting, or teaching, hosting events, creating digital products, selling merchandise. And I have the opportunity there for you to really start thinking like, oh yeah, I was only thinking this, but here's all the ways I can make money from that one idea. So that's what we do during coaching week. There's a mix of people, a lot who will watch it on replay, but I'm offering you guys an opportunity to join me Monday through Friday. I'll be live at noon Eastern Standard Time. So just figure out what that is in your time zone, and then the replays will be available just through the week, and that's it. So that's coaching week. It's coming up. Let's jump into these 4 stages of your business. Just to kind of give you the roadmap of them, it is identity, the identity stage, the visibility stage, execution, and then growth. If you Google like business development or stages of business development, there are lots of theories out there. And for the most part, they're very similar. So the system that I created, I just thought it was easier and easier for my clients to understand, given that most of them are new to entrepreneurship. I think a lot of the other systems are way too wordy and way too, they just go into areas that I don't think are necessary. So these 4 are what I use and really standardize on across my business. So in stage number 1, identity, this is where you need to understand what is your business. Like, what's the identity? What do you do? It's super important to also understand what you do not do, right? And what makes your company unique? So I spend a lot of time with my clients here, because they come in and they say very generic things like, I'm a life coach, I'm a business coach, I'm a tax accountant, I am a realtor, I sell this particular item. That's great, but who are you selling it to? Who is your target audience? Why should they want to come to you? What result are you promising? Even simple things, like sometimes they have names of their businesses that are super confusing, and we create a tagline maybe or something else to really help them solidify the identity of the business. In this stage as well is when you're dealing with your brand. Your brand is more about how you want your clients to feel when they work with you, and less about the colors and all of those things. Those things complement what you're trying to express and communicate in your business. You need to make sure your logo communicates that, your color scheme is going to be appealing to your target audience. So for a lot of people, they come to me and they're like, oh, I figured out my brand. They show me the brand board, and then I'm asking them the questions like, this is great. Who's your target audience? And if they tell me men, women, children, first of all, that's way too broad. But when they tell me stuff and I'm like, is this color palette even going to be appealing to the people that you're trying to reach? It's not about these are your favorite colors. Your business is a service and a solution to your clients. So I help you make sure you're super, super clear on that in the identity phase. Okay. Who are you helping? How are you helping them? What is the result they're going to get? How are you going to present your business? Because there's a lot of people that call themselves business coaches, and we all offer very different services. We all are very different in the way that we deal with our clients. I have clients that are very introverted. They don't want to be on camera like this. They would not do these win the days or something similar. Instead, they're very big on infographics. They're very big on maybe pre-recorded video, but the idea that you're live and you can be writing comments and distracting them, that is too much. So I help you figure out what is it that you're going to do? How do you want your clients how do you want to show up in the world? That falls under identity. Number 2, visibility. And I started to branch into this when we talk about how do you want to show up? Well, the reality is if you define what you're doing, who you're helping, the result they're going to get with you, now you have to figure out how am I telling. Most people skip this stage or they take the stage for granted. And honestly, as a business coach, this is where people spend the most time as far as developing the business. So it's usually doesn't take us that long for you to really hone in on your business identity, right? We usually can do that in a session or two. If you're doing group coaching, a few questions in, I can ask you some things to think about. You'll come back with that. And we usually can kind of really square up that identity, unless what you're trying to do is so creative and I have to help you understand how that's going to present in the marketplace. So identity is really just making sure you have solid answers to some basic questions about your business. Well, visibility takes it a step further. Now that you're ready to tell others about it, how are they going to hear from you? How are they going to find your products and services? What are you going to do? Like, you can think of visibility also as like marketing strategies, social media content. Like, how are you going to be intentional to make sure that people see you? How do you want to be seen when you show up in the world, right? A lot of people literally, they decide, I'm going to do this business, and they create a flyer. Like, I have 3 people in the last week that the moment they were ready to step out there, they created flyers for their social media that said, we're open, or taking new clients. And I'm just like, they don't know what you do. Like, you haven't put your voice out there at all for people to understand what you do. And all you told them was you're taking new clients. And so they get the appropriate response, which is congratulations on starting your business, but they don't get new clients. So what are the things that you need to do? How are you showing up? What is, and in this place, we also discuss like, what are the boundaries, right? I am very big on coaching and creating community, and I want to be like very visible and having a lot of touch points with my clients. A lot of my clients don't want that, right? So we have to own the fact of what are your strengths? How are you making this work for you? And how do you want to interact with your clients? What type of services are you willing to offer? Because I can tell you that during coaching week, I'm going to introduce you to 13 business models, 13 different things you could be doing in your business. And honestly, I can tell you how each of those 13 can fit almost any business. I only ask you to walk away with one or two strategies that you're actually going to use. So that means everybody shows up for their business very different. I don't want you imitating what someone else did. I want you figuring out what's going to work for you. So that's the visibility, because sometimes we get out there and we realize this isn't exactly what I wanted it to be, and we have to make the changes. So, first is identity, second is visibility, and the last comment I made about making those changes is number three, execution, right? In identity, you're really just thinking more concisely about what your business is. And visibility, you're thinking about how you're showing up, how you're interacting, how you want people to feel with you, and how you're actually helping them get that result. But number three, execution, is where you're doing the work. You cannot skip this step. You cannot decide that because I've made up my mind, I'm going to sell this product. Let me just put up some flyers, and this is my whole execution strategy. Nobody. No. There's a real, like, a noise that's like that's basically what a lot of you do when you believe you can just jump out there, and then you believe instantly, because you said we're open, that you now have clients. That's not how this works. And like I said with my kids, right? I took them through steps. So where do you need to start in order to learn your industry, provide the services that you are going to provide to your clients? Like, what is the progression? We forget that there needs to be progression in building a business. We just want to tell people we did it because it's so scary to jump out there, and we don't do the work to make sure that it's actually going to work, actually going to be seen, heard, viewed, and appreciated and valued by your potential customer. So in the execution phase, this is where you have put the plans in place, but now you have to do them. You have to work the plan. So it's not about just saying, I'm going to be on Instagram and Facebook, and I'm going to have a Facebook group, but how are you managing those? What is the content strategy? What's the marketing strategy? And then how are you getting it done? So that's what we do in execution stage. That is where most people are in the 100K society. They totally come in a lot of different stages. But what we do is quickly get you up to speed, even if it's just on the fact of, here's going to be your content strategy, and this is how you need to be executing. We do accountability every week. We have monthly workshops, give you some growth points, but the overall objective is for you to understand how to get this done. So the execution is the how. How am I doing it? How am I getting the result? How am I evaluating my business to say I am reaching my goal? I'm not reaching my goal. I thought I was saying this. I really wasn't saying that. I'm attracting the wrong person. I'm attracting the client who's not willing to pay my high ticket offer. And making the necessary adjustments so that you do get the results that you want. So that's number three, the execution phase. And then finally, the growth. Growth is, if you think about the analogy of children, right? You have one child. You focus on that child, you get them out of diapers. This is a typical plan. I know all of you do things differently, but a lot of times people plan that I'm going to get this child to this particular stage of their life. And a lot of people use the out of diapers as a stage, and then they're ready to grow their family. They're ready to have another one. So think of your business in that way. Once you get your business to this certain very stable place, how can you continue to grow? What is the next thing that you can add? Where is the next logical step for growth? Or is there kind of like a branch off that you're going to do? But at that point, that first business should be giving you the business revenue that you expect. You should have your systems down. it should be working like a well-oiled machine. Definitely not a baby. Definitely not you just throwing random resources at it. You aren't confused at this point. And by the time you're at stage 4 of growing that business, you are considering what next? What else? Where else can I go? What else can I do? Is there some bigger thing that I've been waiting to develop that I'm now ready to put my time and energy to do? So the growth stage is huge, um, because I want you to always understand that the business that you're running right now is going to grow up, but you have to be prepared for that. You have to set yourself up for success, right? We've heard of set yourself up for failure. And honestly, when you don't plan, when you just throw yourself out there, when you don't consider that there's a process that needs to happen, you are setting yourself up for failure. But here we're talking about how can you think through this to set yourself up for success. So I hope these 4 stages helped you guys. I apply them to my personal life, my family, my business. I apply them to everything, and I will be teaching you guys in that same way as I continue to build this business and really help you understand. Here's an identity issue that a lot of people face. So here's something in the execution stage that will really help you move through so that you can understand where you are in your business development. You can also use these 4 phases in your product development. I want you to create one product, understand what it is, how is it going to be seen and used by clients. Let's execute on making the money you plan to make and then grow it. That's how I developed my entire product suite. I did one-on-one coaching. I did group coaching and my signature program. And now I have a membership. But I literally invested the time into each one and then decided where I was going to grow from there. But that's all in the development of my business. So your business is not your baby. I mean, it is your baby right now. It will always be your baby, but just like children, your baby has to grow up. You hate it when people tell you, oh, how's your little business going? Or how's your little project? Or they act like it's this like insignificant thing. But if you constantly like a baby and don't grow it up, that's why they have that impression. So your baby is no longer your business is no longer going to be a baby because you're going to understand what it takes to grow up your business. For those of you who are joining me on Facebook, whether replay or live, I do want to let you know that next week is coaching week. I want you there with me. It's in a private Facebook group. You can find the link in the bio. I think it says 100K strategy challenge, and that's what we're going to be doing next week. So I look forward to seeing you guys. The 100K Society is where we execute. I want you to join that group when you are serious about growing your business. Okay, I will absolutely be happy to do a consultation with you to really understand where you are. But overall, when you are ready to execute, let's get this done. It doesn't mean that you would have mastered all the stages prior, but what you're saying is, I'm going to pay attention to what I'm doing every day and every week so that I am reaching my goals. I am going to grow up my business. My business is definitely not going to be called a baby. If that's you, the 100K Society is definitely where you want to be. And I will talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for joining me. Again, I'm Tanika D'Souza, the 100K Challenge Chick. You guys have a great day. Bye.